Good day. Today is Thursday, September 15th, 2022. Speaking to you from my home in the southwestern desert, Arizona, and delighted to share another chapter or my thoughts on another chapter of the Tao with you. Reading from chapter 32 today of the Tao Te Ching. If we only understood our place, our unity with the Tao, our courts of law would disappear and armies would disband. But this simple unity eludes us, so we see ourselves as separate and are imprisoned by our fears. Everything we are was formed when the Tao big banged itself into the universe. Countless stars forged atoms in their furnace heat, then exploded them into the cosmos, where they formed the elements that now appear as us. When we understand that we are star stuff, our lives become a flowing part of the eternal stream of Tao. Another beautiful mystical poem from Lao Tzu's pen, from Lao Tzu's brush. Somewhat esoteric and repeating the theme that we belong, that we're not separate, that we do not have to figure things out and gain some sort of an illusion of control over the events of our life. We, as Carl Sagan so beautifully stated, are the stuff of the stars standing up and looking back at the stars. How can we help but know that we belong? I have moments when I feel like I belong. But it's important to understand that those moments are not necessarily the moments of comfort and ease. I don't belong because life is unfolding in a way that pleases me. Life often does not unfold in ways that please us. We can choose the focus of our attention, but we cannot choose the circumstances of our life, not to any real controllable degree. Didn't choose to be born at this particular time in history, in this particular place, from those particular parents. I didn't choose to have these particular frailties and these particular strengths. So much of it was not a choosing of mine. And some of it has been very difficult, and for some people it's much more difficult than the path that has flowed in front of me. We never know what this path is going to be, and we can't depend on the circumstances of the path to assure us of our belonging. The feeling that we're separate causes us suffering and arises out of our physical, emotional suffering. The feeling that I don't belong makes me suffer. The suffering makes me feel like I don't belong, and it becomes a vicious circle. It's important to go back to this. When the Tao big banged itself into the universe, countless stars forged atoms in their furnace heat and exploded them into the cosmos, where they formed the elements that now appear as us. When we understand that we are star stuff, as Carl Sagan says, we look back at the stars and we say, here I am. One of the most beautiful poems in the English language doesn't seem at first glance to be a Taoist poem, but it is, by the English poet William Henley. You're all familiar with it. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. And then this poem ends with the famous stanza. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I am not captain of the circumstances. I am captain of the soul that belongs and is therefore able to stand up and look at the stars and say, here I am. Nelson Mandela was able to do that. In some part, maybe not some small part, because of this particular poem. No matter how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. This is because I belong. Everything in the world tells me I do not belong. They take away my freedom. They take away my health. They take away everything that they can take away from me. My life goes through the rocks that are almost impassable. And yet, that cannot be taken away from me. I am the stuff of these stars, and I stand up and I look back on them and I say, I belong to you. I am of you. I am you. So there's an element of deep courage in the Tao, in the Tao Te Ching. It gives us a place to stand when all other things that we thought we could stand on crumble away. I can still stand and say, I belong here. I didn't choose any of this, but I choose to stand and say, here I am. For this brief moment, and perhaps many moments before and many moments afterwards, perhaps many lives will be lived in my consciousness. Perhaps I'll be part of the consciousness of the universe. It doesn't matter. At this particular moment, through no choice of mine, I'm here and I stand and I say, I'm the captain of my soul. Here I am. I hope your day is filled with tranquility and pleasure, peace and joy. But if it's not, if out of the night that covers you and the blackness that seems to be from pole to pole, you remember that you really are the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. You belong here just as surely as anything can be sure. We're the stuff of the universe, looking at the universe. And I'll see you down the road. Blessings.